Hold on a second. So we're just going to have a very short class. We're going to read the verse and then take a few questions, and then basically, because we got to, some devotees want to talk to me because Jitendra is not here.
Oh,
He actually wanted to talk to me. But anyway, he lost his opportunity. So, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunya Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunya Bihari. Gopijana Balaba Giri Baladade Gopijana Balaba Giri Baladade Gopijana Balaba Yamuna Tera Vanachari Jayu Rado Madhava Kunyari Rado Gopijana Balada Giri Baladade Gopijana Balaba Giri Baladade Gopijana Yamuna Tera Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunya Bihari Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravaticharya, also Teta Satashi Shimad. Is the right grace of Ayachalada Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki jai. ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anantakoti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Vedas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shidvaita Gadadha. Shivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopikapanath Sayam Kunda. Radhakunda Giri Govardhan ki jai. Vrindavan Mudamai ki jai. Shrimati Lalasi Devi ki jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Go Premananda Hari Hari Bol. All glory is the assembled devotees. All glory is the assembled devotees. All glory is the assembled devotees. All glory is to Shri Guru and Gauranga Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutle Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namadi Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pajani Navasesha Nivadi Paschat Deja Tarni. So we're reading today from the Srimad Bhagavatam, 8th canto, 3rd chapter, text 2. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shri Gajendra Huvacha. Shri Gajendra Huvacha. Om Namo Bhagavate Tasmai Yata Etach Chid Atmakam Purushadyadi. Okay. Vijaya Parashaya Vidimahi Vidimahi Shri Gajendra Vacha. Om Namo Bhagavate Tasmai. Om Namo Bhagavate Tasmai. Yatahi Chidatmakam. Purushaya Yadi Vijaya. Parashaya Vidimahi. Shri Gajendra Uvacha. Om Namo Bhagavate Tasmai. Om Namo Bhagavate Tasmai. Yatahi Chidatmakam. Purushaya Divijaya. Pareshaya Vidimahi. Shri Gajendra Vacha. Om Namo Bhagavate Tasmai. Yatahi Chidatmakam. Purushaya Divijaya. Pareshaya Vidimahi.
Shri Gajendra Vacha. Om Namo Bhagavate Tasmai. Om Namo Bhagavate Tasmai. Yata Chidatmakam.
Pareshaya Vidimahi.
Shri Gajendra Vacha. Om Namo Bhagavate Tasmai. Om Namo Bhagavate Tasmai. Yata Chidatmakam. Purushaya Vidijaya. Pareshaya Vidhimahi. Shri Gajendra Vacha. Om Namo Bhagavate Tasmai. Yata Chidatmakam.
Ladies.
Shri Gajendra Vacha.
Shri Gajendra Vacha.
Om Namo Bhagavate Tasmai.
Om Namo Bhagavate Tasmai.
Yatha Chit Atmaka. Yatha Eta Chit Atmaka.
Yatha Eta Chit Atmaka.
Purushaya Divijaya.
Purushaya Divijaya.
Harishaya Vidhimahi.
Harishaya Vidhimahi.
Shri Gajendra Uvacha.
Shri Gajendra Uvacha.
Om Namo Bhagavate Tasmai.
Om Namo Bhagavate Tasmai.
Yata Yachit Atmakam.
Yatha Eta Chit Atmaka.
Purushaya Divijaya.
Purushaya Divijaya.
Pareshaya Abhidhimahi.
Pareshaya Vidhimahi.
Okay. Shri Gajendra Vacha.
Shri Gajendra Vacha.
Gajendra, the king of elephants, said,
Gajendra the king of elephants said,
Om, O my Lord.
O my Lord.
Namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you.
I offer my respectful obeisances unto you.
Bhagavate.
Bhagavate.
Unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Tasmai.
Tasmai.
Unto him.
Unto him.
Yataha.
Yataha.
From whom?
From whom?
Etat.
Etat.
This body and the material manifestation.
This body and the material manifestation.
Chit Atmakam
Atmaka.
is moving due to consciousness, the spirit soul.
Due to consciousness.
The spirit soul. Purushaya.
Purushaya.
Unto the Supreme Person.
Unto the Supreme Person.
Adivijaya.
Adivijaya.
Who is the origin or root cause of everything.
Who is the origin or root cause of everything.
Para Ishaya.
Parishaya.
Who is supreme, transcendental and worshipable.
Transcendental worshipable.
For such exalted persons as Brahma and Shiva.
For such exalted persons as Brahma and Shiva.
Abhidimahi.
Abhidimahi.
Let me meditate upon him.
Let me meditate upon him.
Translation. The king of the elephants, Gajendra, said, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Person, Vasudeva. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Because of him, this material body acts due to the presence of spirit, and he is therefore the root cause of everyone. He is worshipable for such exalted persons as Brahma and Shiva, and he has entered the heart of every living being. Let me meditate upon him. So, purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. In this verse, the words etat chid atmakam are very important. The material body certainly consists only of material elements. But when one awakens to Krishna conscious understanding, the body is no longer material but spiritual. It's something we talked about yesterday. The material body is meant for sense enjoyment, whereas the spiritual body engages in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Therefore, a devotee who engages in the service of the Supreme Lord and who constantly thinks of him should never be considered to have a material body. It is therefore enjoined, Gurushu Nara Matahi. One should stop thinking of the spiritual master as an ordinary human being with a material body. Arche Vishnu Shilo Dihi. Everyone knows that the deity in the temple is made of stone, but to think that the deity is merely stone is an offense. Similarly, to think that the body of the spiritual master consists of material ingredients is offensive. Atheists think that devotees foolishly worship a stone statue as God and an ordinary man as the guru. The fact is, however, that by the grace of Krishna's omnipotence, The so-called stone statue of the deity is directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the body of the spiritual master is directly spiritual. A pure devotee who is engaged in unalloyed devotional service should be understood to be situated on the transcendental platform. Sagunan samtijai tan brahma bhuyaya kalpate, from Bhagavad Gita 14:26. Let us therefore offer our obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by whose mercy so-called material things also become spiritual when they are engaged in spiritual activity. Omkara, Pranava, is the symbolic sound representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Om Tad Sad Iti Nirdesho Brahmanas Trividas Mitaha. The three words Om Tat Sat immediately invoke the Supreme Person. Therefore, Krishna says that he is Omkara in all the Vedic mantras, Pranava Sarva Vedeshu. The Vedic mantras are pronounced beginning with Omkara to indicate immediately the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srimad Bhagavatam, for example, begins with the words Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. There is no difference between the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva, and Omkara, Pranava. We should be careful to understand that Omkara does not indicate anything nirakara or formless. Indeed, this verse immediately says Om Namo Bhagavate. Bhagavan is a person. Thus, Omkara is the representation of the Supreme Person. Omkara is not meant to be impersonal, as the Mayavadi philosophers consider it to be. This is distinctly expressed here by the word Purushaya. The Supreme Truth addressed by Omkara is Purusha, the Supreme Person. He is not impersonal unless he is a person. How can he control the great stalwart controllers of this universe? Lord Vishnu, Lord Brahma, and Lord Shiva are the supreme controllers of this universe, but Lord Vishnu is offered obeisances even before Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. Therefore, this verse uses the word Parashaya, which indicates that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is worshipped by exalted demigods. Parashaya means Parameshvara. Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva are Ishvaras, great controllers, but Lord Vishnu is Parameshvara, the supreme controller. So I'll read the verse again. Om Namo Bhagavate Tasmai Yatai Tatchirapakam Purushaya Yadi Vijaya Parashaya Vidimahi. So Om Gana Timiranda Shah Gananjana Shalakya Chakshura Niritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So actually there's two topics dealt with by Srila Prabhupada in this particular purport. The first topic, of course, is a topic that Srila Prabhupada would talk about quite a bit, the transformation of matter to spirit. And so we find Vishnu Shakti Para Prokta Shetrakya Katata Para Avidya Karma Sanganya Tritira Shakti Ishate. It's described the Lord has three primary potencies: the material potency, spiritual potency, and Jiva, which is the marginal potency. So Krishna has the ability, an electrician can make something cooling or heating. I mean, just like you have these reverse cycle air conditioners, right? You know what I'm talking about? Sometimes they're called heat pumps. Yeah, no, nobody knows what I'm talking about. Anyway, that is, you can put your AC into a air conditioning mode, or you can put it into a cooling mode, right? Or in a heating mode. Yeah, so it's reverses. So in the same way, Krishna can turn matter to spirit and spirit to matter. So what Krishna does with the body of his devotee, he transforms it into spirit. Now, it's not exactly the same as a spiritual body in the spiritual world. We make the distinction, and yesterday we made the distinction between material and something that's physical. Remember the two words we used? The pure devotee's body still is physical. You know, just like Srila Prabhupada had heart attacks, right? Srila Prabhupada had kidney failure. Srila Prabhupada, anyway, there's so many different issues Prabhupada had with his body. But that doesn't mean it wasn't spiritual. It was used for Krishna. So anything used for Krishna, offered to Krishna. Just like prasadam. We take bhoga, ordinary food, and then we offer it to Krishna with love and devotion. And it becomes transformed into the Lord's mercy. And I remember the first time I ate prasadam, and it was the same ingredients that I had eaten many times before. Same thing. You know, I had taken rice, I had taken soup made with, you know, you call it mung beans in America. So we use these green split peas. So I had taken all those things before. But the first time I ate prasadam, you know, food that was offered to Krishna, I said, what did you put in here? I mean, people ask like that quite often. What have you put in? What are your secret ingredients here? And I just couldn't stop eating. I mean, I never had a problem before, and I still don't have a problem with overeating. But I couldn't stop eating. And especially the first Sunday feast for the first 6 months. I overate so much that I was crawling on the floor after taking prasadam. Has anyone ever experienced that? No. You haven't? Every day? No, literally. And then the devotees would quote from Prabhupada. They would say, left side, not on your right side. Because if you lie on your right side, that's where, I guess the liver's there, or something like that. So we would, I just remember, brahmacharis just all lying on their left side. And groaning. I mean, no one had a problem with that before, overeating. I mean, we were all thin and fit. And so, that's because we were tasting something that we have never tasted before. Prasadam. So that's, to me, that's objective proof of the difference or spirituality that occurs when you offer something to Krishna. Because it was amazing. And Lord Chaitanya said, you know, it's like tasting Krishna's saliva when you take prasadam. And, you know, what to speak of the deities? So, yes, everybody knows, as Prabhupada said, that the deities were made or from stone or from wood, or even there's mental deities, you know, like there's that one Brahmin who's mentioned in the Nectar of Devotion, who was worshiping the deity in his mind and testing the sweet rice that he was offering to the deities, and the sweet rice happened to be a little too hot, and he burned his finger, and Krishna laughed at him, and Krishna took him back to Godhead. So even the deity in the mind, the deity made of sand, sometimes people make a temporary deity, like of sand or whatever. And then Krishna appears because the devotee is following the directions of a pure devotee. It's actually required to have a pure devotee come and invoke the presence of Krishna either in prasadam or in the deity. And if you're following the pure devotee's instructions, then you do this deity installation. And actually the deity installation, deities installed because Prabhupada said during the deity installation in Vrindavan, where Prabhupada had all these ritualistic brahmanas come and do all their swahas and everything. Prabhupada said the deities came because of the Harinam, the chanting of the Lord's holy names. You know, Krishna manifested himself because of that. I mean, I'm not decrying the rituals. It's nice to have all these rituals because it helps focus one's mind. But the main thing is to focus one's mind on Krishna and to do something with devotion. Because if you don't have devotion, Krishna will not accept the prasadam. Krishna will not appear in the deity form. As an interesting story, one time I was with Prabhupada, and a group of devotees, brahmacharis, came in. And they were talking to Prabhupada about a temple that they visited. And this temple, the devotees, or the people in the temple, committed offense against the visiting devotees. And told Prabhupada, oh, they had a very nice deity there. And Prabhupada said, there's no deity there. Just a little contrast. And they said, again to Prabhupada, we saw the deity. And Prabhupada said, you heard what I said. There's no deity. The devotees were wondering, oh my God, what's happening? So, and then Prabhupada gave this Bengali saying that it's like someone using a shalagram shila to crack nuts with. In other words, the point is, if you're not worshipping with love and devotion or you're committing offenses, then Krishna can leave. Krishna's independent, he's swarat. That means he can do anything he wants. So he comes because of devotion, just like we hear in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna accepts foodstuffs, patram pushpam palam toyam yome bhakta prayachati, with love and devotion. And if there's no love and devotion, Krishna doesn't have to accept. So it's the devotee's devotion that brings down Krishna, allows the transformation of the pure devotee's body. That's why we don't burn the pure devotee's body. We put the pure devotee, and sannyasis in general, into samadhi. And because it transcendental, we take the pure devotee's remnants, whatever he is used, he or she, because there's lady pure devotees too, don't worry. So he or she is used during this lifetime. And like Prabhupada's typewriter, Prabhupada's this, and we mentioned this the other day, these are all transformations. So this is one point here, and anyone who thinks otherwise, he's possessed of hellish intelligence. Anyone who considers the pure devotee's body to be material, considers the deity to be made of stone and wood, is a resident of hell. Naraka. That's the description Prabhupada has given. And the final point in this particular purport is Omkara. Omkara, of course, Om. And Prabhupada, the Acharyas describe Om as a manifestation of Krishna, Radharani, and the living entity. AUM. It's interesting, isn't it? Whereas the Mayavadis, they consider this to be one of their main mantras, along with, in an impersonal way, along with Tattvamasi or Aham Brahmasmi. And the chanting of Om is actually, in every Vedic mantra, Pranava Sarva Vedeshu, is actually a trick by the Supreme Personality of Godhead to get everyone to chant his name. Because Om. And early, so any questions, quick questions, or comments? Or problems, yes.
Maharaj, what's the meaning of Bhagavat? Or, we hear Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva. I always wondered what is, we have.
Bhagavat, Bhagawan. What does Bhagawan mean? Do you know?
Krishna?
Yeah, I know that. But even the word Bhagawan is sometimes used to address important personalities, like Narada Muni sometimes addresses Bhagawan Narada. So the word Bhaga means opulence. Van means to be full. And in Krishna's case, Krishna is full of all opulences, which are described, there's 6 opulences described by Parashara Muni. Strength, knowledge, right? Renunciation. Described by Parashara Muni, you find that Krishna is most complete in all those, not most, extremely complete. Not most is comparative. So the most, not just complete, but just unlimited in these 6 opulences. knowledge, fame, etc., like that. So that's why Krishna is known as Bhagawan. Whereas great personalities like Narada, they have opulences to a certain degree. Like we have these opulences to a certain degree. We may look a little nice sometimes when we're still young. So we may have some intelligence, but Krishna's intelligence is unlimited. We may have some fame, but Krishna's fame is unlimited, isn't it? We may be somewhat renounced, but Krishna's unlimited. Battlefield. Whoop. Motorcycle. At least it's not a noisy one. What?
They're the best.
No, they're very annoying. So, so anyway, so Krishna has unlimited strength. He's holding up all the universes without even trying to, like little grains of mustard seed in the incarnation of Anantashesh, who is termed gravity by the scientist. So that's why Krishna is called Bhagawan. Got it? And Bhagavate means unto Bhagawan. That's the Sanskrit of unto the person of Bhagawan. All right? Good. Actually, it's good that everybody knows the meaning of Bhagawan. Right? All right, so who else has a question? Yeah.
Gurudev, other than Lord
No, I don't think so. You can
like
take.
anyone can become Ganesh or
Ganesh, I haven't really read what sort of tattva he is. That's an interesting question. I haven't read that. But he's a specific individual too. No. You can't, because there's specific individuals who are Jiva Tattva, who have a specific position that you cannot become them. No, you can't become Ganesh.
but Brahma anyone
You can become, that's a post.
okay, please.
Brahma, Indra, Varuna, Vayu, these are all posts. So you can become the head of your own universe if you like. And have a big headache, or 4 headaches, or 16 headaches, or 32 headaches, or 64 headaches, 128 headaches. I mean, it's not such a nice position to be in, isn't it?
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be Lord Brahma. So, yeah. So, but there are specific positions, like the residents of Vrindavan, eternal associates of Krishna, and some of them are Jiva souls. You cannot become Mother Yashoda, you cannot become Nanda Maharaj, you cannot become Arjuna's a Jiva soul. You cannot become Arjuna, you cannot become Nara and the Nara Narayan Rishis. But you can become an assistant to an assistant to an assistant of these particular. You can't become Rupa Manjari. Because these are all specific individuals who are eternal associates of the Lord. No, you can't become Gajendra. We wouldn't want that. So, yes.
Gurudev, what would be the minimum deity worship requirements? Like if you are busy or
The minimum deity at home, you mean?
yes, at home. What's the
Offer your food to the deity. I think, basically home deities once a day, you offer some, and you keep water on the altar, and you dress them once a week. Too much for you?
no, that's what I'm going with. Just in case if
That's minimum. Minimum.
and the food Gurudev like 3 times a day. Or
Who's the reason?
the food, the bhoga.
How are you going to do that if you travel?
It's a bit difficult right now.
It
So
will always be difficult. That's why I don't really encourage people get into so much deity worship at home, because it diverts one from serving ISKCON's deities. I'm a sannyasi, so I travel with my shilas, and it doesn't divert me from anything. It just keeps me focused. But And then keep it really simple, because if you have to make 3 offerings a day, you probably have to hire, right? I mean, it's nice. Prabhupada generally asks the devotees to have Gaurnatai deities at home. Gaurnatai are the most merciful. And, I mean, not that you want to neglect Gaurnatai, but at the same time, really, I find a lot of devotees who are really deficient in their worship because they have so many deities on the altar. And, you know, it's actually can be offensive if one neglects. So, as far as Lord Jagannath, keep it very simple.
So once a day.
Yeah, once a day, but what are you going to do when you travel? People don't consider it like that. You're going to travel, you're going to go to India, and Lord Jagannath will fast for 3 weeks. They'll do the Manaseva, mind thing like that. But I take it very seriously. You know, I have my deities and make sure they eat twice a day. And they travel with me, and, you know, even when I'm in the plane, I'll carry if it's a long flight, I'll carry a little package of boga with tulsi leaves in it to offer to them while we're traveling. So I take it very seriously. And especially with Radha and Krishna, I don't, you know, I know some of you may have Radha and Krishna, but you got to be really careful. You got to be really careful. Then you just treat, you know, then it's basically leaving the deities is like treating the deities like stone or wood.
Yeah.
So be careful. All right?
What about the artis in the morning, like that is?
That's nice. Yeah, you do it. It's nice to have an there's Mangal Arati every morning. So, you know, whatever's practical. Whatever's practical. But you have to be careful. You're dealing with Krishna. And you don't let Krishna eat, and you're eating. Isn't that? You're eating like anything, and Krishna's not eating. Krishna's a person, he likes to eat.
I mean, how can they eat if they haven't offered it? So if we eat.
Well, I mean, they may, you know, they may offer to picture when they're on the road or something like that. That's another thing.
One of the senior devotees, Maharaj, said you could put some dried nuts and offer to the Lord, like in a big, like.
For Gaurnatai, that's good. Yeah. But then you leave the same dried nuts for 3 weeks.
True.
They tend to grow fungus after that. Isn't it? I think one has to be careful. One devotee in New Zealand, he has Krishna Balaram deities, and they're big, you know, about this big, and he travels with them. But this gets a little unwieldy. Especially Jagannath, if they're wood deities, you don't want to travel with them because they're fragile. So, anyway, we'll talk about that separately. Actually, when I joined the movement, the deities were Panchatattva picture. And that was good enough. And that we were happy. And I was Pujari after 1 week in the movement. That was nice. I was offering arti and doing everything after 1 week in the Hare Krishna movement. And it was very encouraging. Very encouraging. Because Krishna, a picture is a deity. Krishna is present in his picture. Spiritual master is present in his picture. So, anyway, whatever. I don't want to get into it because people get upset if I talk too much about it. What? That's nice.
Not that I wanted. It's just my daughter was playing, and she just picked it up. When she was very little, she just picked up one of the deities, and 2 friends, they said, okay, you keep one, I keep one. And they split Lakshmi Narayan. One took Lakshmi and one took Narayan. So I ended up having Lakshmi ji. So I thought, how can I just keep Lakshmi ji?
You have to have Narayan at the same
Narayan
time.
as well. So that's how I bought Narayan.
That's fine.
When I am not a regular person, I work, my husband works, kids goes to school. What is your recommendation?
Just do the best you can with that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I offer once a day and
Yeah.
I change their dress once a week.
That's fun. That's great.
And what's your recommendation if I'm traveling? I can't take them. With
Take a picture of them.
And should I put them on sleeve?
Difficult to say. No, you just leave them and you take a picture of worship and do Manasa Seva. You know, the deities are already there, so you worship them in your mind. And you do puja in your mind, especially, you have to be practical. Have to be practical. The main thing is I just want to emphasize the devotees should spend the majority of their deity worship time worshiping the deities in the temple, helping ISKCON. Yeah.
Maharaj,
Yeah.
sorry. And in our regular day-to-day activities, like we change, we do arati. Sometimes when you were saying that you should do it with love. And
With love,
devotion,
yeah.
how do we understand that our offerings are in love and devotion and not just ritual?
Well, just be thinking, I want to do this to please you. That's what love means. To please another person. It's not an artificial emotion that you just sort of stir up in your heart, love, 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 all you need is love. But you actually think, Krishna, please be pleased by this offering. That's the beginning of love, trying to please Krishna. All right? So just time for one more question, yeah.
Maharaj, just on this Omkara, when we glorify, or there is a lot of mantras around, starting with Om.
With Om, yeah. The Vedic mantras
Yeah.
start with Om.
So including even glorifying, say, Lord Shiva, like
Yeah,
Om
that's
Namah
right.
Shivaya or Om Namo Bhagavate
Om
Rudraya.
Namo Shivaya.
So is that mean like we are glorifying Lord Krishna plus Shiva when
That's
we are
right.
chanting?
That's right.
Because it's
We're
Om.
glorifying Lord Krishna first. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva, Om Namo Shivaya, Om Narayanaya Namaha, like that. So yes, it's a trick. That in the Rig Veda, you have most of the mantras, the majority of mantras, worshipping Indra, which is interesting, but they begin with Om. So Krishna is tricking you to chant his holy name, isn't it? It's like a trick. Om Indraya Namaha. Om Indraya Namaha. So, even Ravan, when he was doing his demoniac mantras, always started with Om. So he was chanting Ram's name by trick.
Is that a secondary name, Maharaj?
A secondary name? No. I mean, it depends on how you see it. It means Radha and Krishna are the living entity, according to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So, if you really understand the meaning, it actually depends on your intention, whether it's a secondary name or a primary name. But the word Bhagawan is a secondary name. The opulent one, all opulent one. Bhagawan or Paramatma, these are all secondary names. Krishna, Rama, these are all primary names. Okay, because we have a tight schedule, I got to do my deity worship, and then people are going to want to talk to me, and then we're going to have to eat prasadam. And Jitendra came. So, all glories to His divine grace, Srila Prabhupada, ki jai. All right.